Hi,
Hello, I'm Lisa
I'm Kaya.
from Mother's Awakening, and we wanted to share with you today a really short process to support you coming into the holiday seasons. So the holiday season is actually kind of peak season for mothers. We have it's like the craziness takes a whole step up in terms of our responsibilities, what we're trying to get done, the obligations we feel we have to meet, all of the stuff. It's like huge. And it's actually often a time when we really, really let go of our self-care. Like we just put it to the side, shove it down, and just kind of have this mentality of, I've just got to get stuff done. Like I just got to move through it and push
Sorry,
through
I
it.
was just sharing the complete wrong one. Still here.
Kay is trying to share into our group this morning. I'm just going to keep talking. Okay, so it's the time when we usually just let stuff go. We feel like we can't fit any more in. Ironically, so we think that's clearing up space. We think that's giving us more space so we can actually fit more stuff in, with this belief that if I can just get to the end of my to-do list, then I'll like relax or collapse or whatever it is, right? And here's the kicker in all of that. There is never an end or a bottom to the to-do list. It's nuts, right? And ironically, by taking away your balance and your actual self-care, yeah, I'm going to use that word at Christmas, I know, self-care, you're making it even more chaotic and more difficult and more overwhelming. There's only so long you can shove down the fact that you're way, way, way past busy. Right? And in Mother's Awakening world, we talk a lot about you needing to cycle between expansion, when you're giving out energy into the world and getting stuff done, and and contraction, when you need to receive, replenish, fill up, and just pause for a second. You need to cycle between both of them. It's a bigger discussion than today's topic, but we don't. In this time of the year as mothers, we go, 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 go. I can just keep it push, 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 a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And we end up depleted, obviously, way past where we needed to take a break and contract. And ironically, we sabotage ourselves. We think that by putting our self-care to the side, we're giving ourselves more time to get all the stuff done. And reality, we're making life crappy and more difficult, and we're less productive when we do this. So I really want you guys to hear this today, okay? Because we all ignore everything and just rush to the end of the year like crazy women. And there's a better way.
And it's actually kind of a habit that can then get a bit infectious. To just, the more you do that, the more disconnected you become from what feels really solid, what feels really grounded, what feels really balanced. So you just keep going like that, like, oh, I can do anything and everything, I'll push through, and then completely burn out, like exhausted or sick, but then keeping on pushing through and just moving between both of those things. And it can end up feeling like years or a long time of just not really feeling connected to a healthy sense of balance, a healthy sense of spaciousness.
So that's the bigger picture, right? And I remember just in the holiday seasons, like before I really got this and I just went, whoa, enough, we've got to really change it up. I would like do, and there would be this thing in my head where I'd go, the 27th of December, that's when I'm going to do nothing that day, right? Like, like after it was all gone, be hanging on for that day, like, oh my God, I'm still going to keep going, it's another 10 days or whatever, You don't need to do that, okay? Good morning, Tanya. You do not need to do that. Really want you to hear this. It is not going to make any difference, and it doesn't matter whether you're a single mum. Kay's been single mum for as long as we've worked together now. Yeah, she can still do it, right? Like I get it's more complicated, but the bottom line is you need to take out some time. There are two systems of self-care, right, in our world, in Mother's Awakening. First is in the moment self-care, which we're going to talk about in the next day or two, but we're not going to do that right now, okay? And that makes up 80% of your self-care. It's a sustainable model. Okay, in the moment of like weaving it through. We'll talk about that in the next day or two. But today, the second type of self-care that we want to talk about is what we call sacred recharge. There's often the smaller part of our self-care models because it does require that we take some time out really for us and step outside of our day-to-day and actually create some dedicated space to top up, to nourish, to refill. And you need to do that periodically anyway, but the more overwhelmed you are and the more disconnected you feel, the more you're like, I'm not coping and everything is making me shitty and oh my God, if my partner even looks at me the wrong way, I'm going to explode. Like all of those pieces, right? Trying to keep your cool. You're going to need the sacred recharge.
And also the more you have that voice in your head that says there is no way I could take that.
No way, there's no time, I could never do that. They don't understand. I've got young kids and I'm a single mom. We do get it, right? We really, really, I promise you we do. And what that needs to look like for you is different. But we're going to walk you through the process. Like we will support you and guide you through. It is really important. At this time of the year, so many of the mothers in our community are starting to go into overload and freak out and like, oh my God, how am I going to make everything fit? And we're going to support you all through this, okay? So the first thing that we want you to think about is if you were to take yourself on a sacred recharge date, doesn't necessarily mean out of the house, but if you were going to take yourself away from the day-to-day, dare I say it, away from the kids for a little bit, everything, and go do something just to top up for you, how much time would you be able to, in an ideal world, how much time would you dedicate to that? Now, for some of you, you might be at the spectrum of maybe an hour, right? And that might be legitimate. You might have a newborn and they need to nurse all the time. And you know,
might even say 30 minutes.
You might, right? Okay, so that's valid, right? And for anyone who has, certainly anyone who has a partner and anyone who has kids, you know, a few years older and above, I want you to consider a little longer, maybe a whole afternoon. Oh. Well, often we tell women, do you think you could take it like a whole day? And they often go, no.
Or freak out.
Or freak out, go, what would I even do with the whole day, right? So we're going to ask you stretch, but find the level that you really believe you can commit to. Even if it's an hour, that is like super powerful, okay? So find the time, somewhere between an hour and a day or an afternoon.
And realistically, if you're really honest, scanning over your days so far, like even just in the last month, there would have been many times when you could have taken that, or you potentially did have that little chunk of time, but maybe didn't, like, and this is no self-judgment, no time to beat yourself up, but maybe like unconsciously used it or didn't really actually take it as space to top yourself up.
Yeah, so intention is important in this, right? There's a difference, like we say, oh, I've got no time, and then we scroll on Facebook for 45 minutes, right? Like, and not that that's, if you want to do that, go for it. Like, I do that too
if
sometimes.
It fills you up, especially.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there for you. But we don't do it from a place of real intention. We go so freaking brain dead and overwhelmed and just going to scroll.
And we end up feeling even more drained.
Yeah. Okay. So really be honest with yourself and find a little chunk of time, whatever you need that to be. I would highly recommend an afternoon if you can swing it. Okay. All right. So the next piece is, if you need to communicate with someone to make that happen because you need their support in some way, be that a babysitter, your partner, your mother, whatever that is for you, who is that? Get clear. Who?
Might also be a friend.
Might be a friend. Yeah. Kara and I have done that for each other many, 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 many times over the years. Many times. So many times, right? So, and if you have a friend, right, and you want to do it, do a swap. Give them the sacred recharge, then you take the sacred recharge. So easy to do, right? Okay, so who is it that you need to communicate with? Be clear on that. You need to communicate your needs to them. And now we're going to do 4 questions so that you're really clear on what it is you would fill up this space with that is actually You're going to meet your needs, top you up, allow you to feel a bit more spacious, and really get back into a place of connection with yourself and grounded again, instead of flying by the seat of your pants, freaking out, okay? So the first question is a 101 basic question, super important. Right now, what is moving in you? What are you feeling? Right now, in this moment, just take a moment to take a breath, let it out. What are you feeling?
This is often a question we don't even give ourselves space to connect with.
Actually, sometimes when women start working with us, they don't even know how to answer this question. So if that's you, that's okay. Just what are you feeling? I feel nothing. I feel disconnected.
I just feel so blocked. I feel blah. I feel disconnected from what I feel.
And that's valid, right? What are you feeling? Okay. I'm going to let you feel that for a second. Okay, given what you're feeling, what do you need? What do you need? Tanya, feeling laziness, excitement, overwhelm, tuning out. A mix. Awesome, yeah. And typically we feel a mix of things. It's pretty rare, realistically. I don't know if I've ever really only felt one thing. You can have one dominant thing, but I think if you said and what else, there'd be a mixture. It's typically a mixture moving around inside us. Okay, so given that, what do you need? What do you need? I'm going to talk briefly about universal need. Just something help them.
Well, yeah, this is like getting down to the base, not like, not the stereotypes of what I think I need, or, you know, and often our brain jumps to,
I need a massage.
Oh, I need a massage. Yeah, I just need to not be a mum for like the next 3 months. Or it jumps to things that we don't actually really need and want, and that it's almost like a bit of a self-sabotage loop of, well, it's obviously the thing that I can't have, so I'll focus on that.
This is what I need because I believe I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? The needs under that, the universal needs, are things like I need solitude, I need peace.
I need respect. I need to really be seen.
I need safety. I don't know, whatever it is for you. I need to be creative. Like, there are a lot of needs that are more universal. We want you to get to that bottom one.
I need nurturing. A big one.
That's a huge one. In fact, you know, a lot of the times when we need a massage, we often need nurturing. What I need, physical movement, get outside, leaving aside my to-do list for a while. Awesome. Okay, so the next question that I want you to consider is, what in the past has brought you pleasure? Okay, what actually lights you up and brings you joy? Maybe it was before you had children, but maybe there's some things now that you can think of. What brings you joy and lights you up? And Tanya, honey, I think getting outside is usually one of yours too, yeah? Like getting out into nature, going for a walk. But there might be other things. There might be, you know. For me, it's painting. I often paint, right?
Me, it's putting, there's many things.
Or dancing.
But putting on music and dancing.
Yeah.
Or getting out in the garden and gardening.
Yeah. But what really lights you up and brings you joy?
Going for a bushwalk. Actually, that's a very Australian term. Going for a walk.
A hike.
A hike.
I think that's what I call it in North America. Bushwalk, hike. Yep. And that's just Kaya. That's not me. I sometimes get dragged along because we live in the middle of a national park. I sometimes get dragged along. Yeah.
I was just in France and I was describing how I love bushwalking, and a little 6-year-old boy who speaks English was just picturing people walking into a bush. And he was like, what is this bushwalking?
Bizarre Australians.
Let's elaborate.
Okay, and the last question is, what is nurturing to you? What is the most self-loving, nurturing acts you can give to yourself in general and in particular at the moment? What is the most loving, nurturing act you can give yourself?
And just ask that, really open up your energy and let things come, let things bubble up.
Yeah, they're probably not going to come from the head. You're going to feel them in your body, like, oh, I love that, I love that, right? Let it come from your body. Okay, given those 4 questions, what are you going to do in that time that you set aside? What is the activity that you're going to do? And maybe you're combining a little bit from each of those questions, or maybe one is just a standout done.
And it's not like it has to be lots of things. It doesn't. It
could be one thing.
And it's the energy and the intention and the presence and the self-reverence, the self-love that you bring to that thing, even if that thing is just to sit on the couch and literally do nothing and really be okay with that. Like if that feels like that is really meeting those needs that you connected with, and you bring the intention and the energy to it, then that's powerful.
So sometimes, especially mothers with who are either pregnant with their second child, which is a really difficult time, right? You've still got the first as well, or you've got a newborn. Sometimes when we do this exercise, they're like, oh my God, I'm so torn. Maybe I want to read a book. Maybe I want to sleep. Maybe I want to, like there's so much they want to do. And I remember that from the early days, like Mike would take the kids somewhere. I would spend like the first 40 minutes of that time freaking out about what I was going to do with my time, because I could use my time, right? Okay, let go of that. Just even if it's one thing, if you legitimately said, I'm going to sleep for 2 hours, fine. Okay, let it go. What is important now when you go in and do this date, and Kaya and I invite you, we challenge you, we strongly urge you to take this sacred recharge date with yourself sometime in the next week or 2. Okay, maybe you need a couple of weeks to sort it out, but like really do take it, and the sooner the better.
You are worthy of it.
So worthy of it, okay? If we really need to move past the you're worthy of it because you can't attach to that, your family will freaking thank you for taking the pressure steam off and just grounding again. Trust me. Okay, the most important thing when you go into that space and into that date is to remember the intention and the energy that you're bringing to this. This is for you. You are worthy of this. You need to ground and reconnect to yourself.
And this is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children and your partner and everybody else connected with you.
And this is your sacred space. Okay? Allow yourself to fully receive the experience. Don't go into the experience with, oh, I've got to do this, right? And it's another thing to check off on my to-do list. Actually, while you're in the experience, really soak it up and receive it. The receiving piece is the most important if you really want to top up your energy reserves. If you need to get back up because you're so depleted, then you have to open up your energy and really receive every single moment of it. And you'll know you're receiving the experience if you feel a sort of a wave of gratitude move through your body. Because gratitude is actually the physical response in your body, the physical sensation of receiving something. Okay? Okay, there was a lot in that today, but it was important for us. We really wanted to bring it. If you like this, it was a baby chunk out of our new offering. It's not a new offering, actually. We offer this every year at this time. For 5 years now we've done this, but this is the time that we offer it. You want to talk about it? You can talk about the bundle quickly.
Okay, so there are 2 interactive diary journal books. One is a New Year reset retreat, which is where this process that Lisa just took you through is from. But it's not just about your own self-care and sacred recharge. It's about
everything. It's very holistic.
It's about bringing a really healthy, connected, conscious experience of motherhood into your year, and using that energy of the new year to,
there's lots of stuff
to make that happen from your place of what's really important to you. Like, these are gorgeous, the relationship maps.
So that's working through your relationship dynamics with every member of your family. For those of you who don't know, oops, which am I going? Kaya and I used to, when we very first started, we taught a lot of conflict resolution and conscious communication skills and helping mothers move out of conflict and crappiness in their house. So all of that will be in there.
And so the first book's really getting clear on, that's right, on what's really important to you and what you're bringing from what you've learned in the last year, and what your intentions are, your guiding intentions are going forwards.
It's very grounding.
And then the next book is anchoring and implementing that day to day, month to month.
So
moon cycle to moon cycle.
Moon cycle to moon cycle. All the days are in here like a normal planner, but we have little full moon ritual every full moon. New moon. Different goddess each month we take her energy and we allow that to flow through the lens of motherhood. So what is that goddess energy? And you can use that. We make it really personal. So what's going on in your life? How are you guiding yourself through the month? This is super grounding if you want to make sure that you're not leaving large chunks of stuff out and dropping the ball on things. Mostly like your self-care, self-connection dates with each of the kids and your partner.
Helping you connect to those really simple things that you can do, like the thing that we just created in this video that you can bring into your days, and helping you find the rhythms where you do bring them into your days, you bring them into your months.
Really practical.
Holistic balance.
Yeah. Really practical, okay? This is not like wishy-washy, I don't know how this is going to fit in my day-to-day life. This is super practical.
And then there's also the meditations, or the activations.
The 13 moon goddess activations.
All the goddesses that we bring into the diary each moon have like a guided, short but very powerful meditation. It's not something that so much you have to do a lot from. Mostly you really just listen and receive the energy of it and bring the energy of that goddess up in you.
There is a spot usually in each meditation where you get to, it sounds really woo-woo when I say this, it's really easy to do, okay? But you channel the goddess and you get some sort of personal wisdom for you where you're at in your life at the moment and how to activate her fully, right? And we guide you through it all, so don't feel like, oh, I don't channel, I'm not channel. It's really easy, intuitive process. It's really natural for us to do, and we'll guide you through that in each of those as well. So that is it for today. Oh, if you want the bundle, especially at the moment while it's on early bird, you'll get it before Christmas because of the way shipping works and everything. Now is an awesome time to set yourself up, seriously. The link is in the description. We would love to welcome you into our community and into our work if you feel inspired. Okay, so much love. We'll be back on our timeline lots over the next few days with tons of different snippets to support you getting yourself through this season of peak busyness.
Yeah, yes, we will.
Bye-bye.